What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Put it on all to get notified of all the latest content we drop on the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this one. So, over the weekend, another undercard fight we had was Craig Spider Richards versus Mr. Marek. Marek Matjya was his name, from Poland. Good fighter overall, and yeah, this fight was definitely an interesting one. Definitely one that was worth watching. Good warm up as we led into towards the main event with McGee versus Cameron. And throughout this fight, Craig Richards was trying to sort of outbox his opponent. A flaw I saw with Richards was, again, the chin sort of being quite upright. The way his stance is, he kind of stands upright, and this led to him being quite vulnerable to the overhand rights of Marek Matjya. He was definitely in the ascendancy in throughout a lot of this fight. Was Matjya, quite successful. He was able to, as Richards' chin was quite high, he was able to sort of always land jab and land overhand rights. One time too many for me, at least. I thought that's definitely something I think Richards does need to tighten up. But it was a close-ish fight all the way through. With Richards having some success with the straight shots. He always shows quite a good jab, quite a good educated jab, lands with a thud there, and he done well with that shot. But in terms of comfort level, who was more comfortable, I would say definitely Matjya appeared to be more comfortable for the majority of the fight, because I felt he was definitely, although Richards likes a bit of movement, likes to dart around the ring, I felt that Matjya was sort of making him work a little bit more, a little bit harder, shall we say, than he might have liked to. And I think that kind of played into Matjya's hands. So Richards did use the movement quite successfully, but he was sort of working a bit harder and having to do that little bit more than he wanted to. So you could tell, in terms of comfort, who was sort of dictating things and who was in charge, especially throughout the beginning of the fight. Definitely for me it was Matjya. It sort of swung back and forth. Richard would have his successes, but then unfortunately he would be open to certain shots due to the chin being held quite high. But he was still very gritty. He was always in the fight, and even leading into sort of the ending of the fight, round sort of 4, 5, and 6. Richards, he was always in it, but you always felt that, right, he's getting tested, his chin's getting tested, and you always felt that maybe he's taking, is a bit too easy, I would say, to hit. That's one thing I thought about the fight. But to his credit, he did need to turn it around when it came to that 6th round, and he did just that. He done very well, as he managed to land a few bombs on Matjya throughout the fight, and then the 6th round land some good shots on Matjya, stumbled him. Matjya was a bit all over the place, and Richards was just sort of relentless, doing what he needed to do, just stepped on the gas, boom, 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 landing the some good combinations, good straight shots, landed a few hooks and uppercuts in there too, and he gets the stoppage in the 6th round. And it was one of these fights where, yes, the stoppage, you could say, I say, as a majority of people, I think, who watched it would say, bit of an early stoppage, in that he was, Richard was definitely in the ascendancy, but because Matjya was kind of ahead I don't know the scorecards, but he looked to be ahead, in terms of most observers, Matjya would probably be ahead. So to kind of just step in and stop it at the first sign of real trouble is a bit of an early stoppage. So I thought it's a bit early. The only counter argument I can offer to that is that you could argue that he was, a few punches away from being seriously hurt from maybe having serious damage. So it's one of these where, yes, I thought, yeah, stoppage was early. But at the same time, I would say that he was genuinely hurt. He was genuinely hurt. You could tell he was definitely stunned by the shots. But I think, yeah, ref could have let it go on a bit longer. Maybe, maybe let him actually get knocked down or something, and then you count and you see where his head is at. If his head clears after a knockdown, or you let it go on a few more seconds just to see what's going to happen. Maybe he comes back with a shot against Richards. But at the end of the day, Richards got the result. Full credit to him. He did. I think he had it in. He was in tough there. It was a quite difficult fight while it lasted, but credit to him for having that mentality. That you just keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and throughout the fight, as the commentary was saying, Darren Barker and those guys saying on the comment, it needs to be more aggressive. He needs to put that spite, put a bit of devil in the work there, and yeah, he needed that bit more spite at a certain point in the fight, and the fight was kind of getting away from him. So credit to Richards for, you got to give him that, at least that respect for just needing a bit of spite, needing to hurt the guy, needing to get to to match her out, somehow he needed to do something, and he needed to sort of get on top in that fight. So, yeah, big credit to Spider Richards. Onwards and upwards for him. I think they were talking about Joshua Buatsi. Good fight for him, but I think his team and stuff, they want to look at sort of a high level of opponents. So they want to go up towards world level. They feel that they've done very well against Bivol, which I would agree. Yep, they did do well against Bivol, and just lost a decent decision, quite clear. But at the end of the day, they pushed Bivol that little bit. So yeah, they'll feel that they may be able to do some damage at world level, and I suppose there's more margin, well, less margin for error technically at world level. But at least if he goes up and let's say he fights Joe Smith Jr., if he any of those champions up there at light heavyweight, he can challenge them. Even if he loses, he can come back down and have a fight against the Buatsi. But I think that's what their strategy seems to be. Go for the world level fight, try and fight the best possible opposition, get your money, because payday wise, you're going to get a brilliant payday if you fight a Joe Smith or fight one of those guys up there. And then you fight that guy, hopefully you win, but even if you lose, got a good payday, and you can always fight one of the domestic hopefuls like a Joshua Buatsi, make a bit more money, and there you go. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What did you think about the performance? What did you think about the stoppage? Do you think it was too early? And yeah, until next time, MKO Pugilism, we're over and out. Catch you on the next one.